The live-action How to Train Your Dragon is coming, and there's already some controversy surrounding it. Will it be good? Will it not? A lot is being said about this, and in this video, I'll explain everything and give my honest opinion on the movie. Let's go! Welcome to Cine Lovers. How to Train Your Dragon is a 2010 movie. It's been 15 years since its release. Pretty recent. Some of you might not even be that old yet. One thing worth mentioning is that making a live-action adaptation of a movie that's only 15 years old feels a bit too soon. I like the concept and the idea, but it's a short time frame. A lot of people think it's completely unnecessary. What do you think? Comment down below. In general, live-action adaptations are already controversial. They divide fan opinions because if they're not faithful enough, that's a problem for some people. But if they're too faithful, that's also an issue for others. Watching the trailer, it looks like it's going to follow the same story as the animated movie, so it seems to be very accurate, maybe even too much. The exact same shots. I really like how Toothless looks when they stick closely to the animation. A realistic looking dragon would have been weird. It would have looked worse, in my opinion. There was a frame they released that I initially thought was from the animated movie, but no, it was actually live-action Toothless. It looks that faithful. For example, Aladdin from 2019, which I think is Disney's best live-action remake, didn't just introduce new songs, but also expanded the genie story. That made it more engaging. That kind of change is interesting because it adds depth to the story. It all depends on how they do it, though, because some adaptations end up looking too off. A lot of people complain about The Lion King because it was exactly the same as the original, nothing changed. That's why they made changes in Mufasa. But for those who don't know, How to Train Your Dragon is based on a book. In past interviews, they mentioned that the idea for this live action is to not only follow the animation, but also take inspiration from the book. They want to blend elements from both and turn them into a live action film. But we'll have to see how they execute that. The director is the same as before, Dean DeBlois, so it might be difficult to create something different. He already made the original, so he might naturally lean towards making it similar. That scene in the trailer where Toothless and Hiccup meet, it's identical to the animated version, unless they did that on purpose to appeal to longtime fans. I'd love to see more elements from the book mixed in with the animation. I think that combination would be really interesting. That way, it would make more sense, because watching the new trailer, we can see that many aspects of the animation are still there. That final battle with the Red Death, for example. Overall, people are loving it, and with everyone enjoying this, it could start a new trend, not just of staying faithful to the original, but of making live-action adaptations of 3D animated movies. This is actually the first live-action remake of a 3D animation. There's going to be one for Moana, which I think makes no sense at all since the time gap between the animation and the live-action is way too short. Making a live-action Snow White, which is coming out nearly 90 years after the original, is one thing. Even Aladdin, which was made almost 30 years later. But Moana, which is only 9 years old. Now, How to Train Your Dragon is 15 years old. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing live-action versions of The Incredibles, Shrek, or anything else that can be adapted, anything that has human characters. I mean, we're probably not going to see a live-action Kung Fu Panda, at least I hope not. But The Incredibles? That one feels pretty likely. And How to Train Your Dragon was originally set to release on the same day as Pixar's Elio. I think studios making that kind of move is a mistake. A lot of studios release their films on the same day as their competitors, probably out of pride, thinking theirs is better, but in the end, it just hurts both movies. But Pixar ended up delaying Elio by a week. So now, How to Train Your Dragon is coming out on June 13th, and Elio on June 20th, and they don't even announce these date changes properly. That's why you need to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and hit the like button to stay updated on all the latest news. There's a new video here every day. Disney claimed they delayed Elio to keep Lilo and Stitch in theaters longer, since it's coming out at the end of May. But honestly, I think that's just an excuse. In In my opinion, Pixar probably got nervous because Elio is their only movie of the year, and it's a brand new franchise. Competing with How to Train Your Dragon, which is already an established and beloved franchise, wouldn't have been a smart move. Disney played it smart because the live-action trailer is getting a lot of hype. So when they saw all the buzz, they probably thought, people are loving this movie, let's push ours at least a week. If I were them, I would have delayed it even more. And keep in mind, Elio has already been delayed by a whole year. It was supposed to come out last year, before Inside Out 2. Going back to the trailer now, I really like that they brought Gerard Butler back as Stoic. For those who don't know, he was the original voice of Stoic in the animated films. The costumes look amazing, the dragons look great, and while you're here, drop a hashtag Toothless in the comments. If this year is already packed with great animated and live-action movies, next year is going to be even crazier. So that's why you're so important. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Now, you can click on one of these videos to stay in the world of animation because you belong here at Cine Lovers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.